everyone. Here's what's coming up on News Center now. A protection order has been filed against a teacher in RSU 21. A parent says her 17-year-old son had a sexual relationship with her.
We'll also take you to a cafe in South Berwick where it is always service with a smile, and a YouTube prank gone horribly wrong.
This is News Center now. Hello everyone, I'm Jessica Gagne in for Amanda Hill.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. A Kennebunk High School teacher on leave tonight, and a judge has ordered her to stay away from a student.
Yes, the mother of that male student says the teacher had an inappropriate relationship with her son. RSU 21 Superintendent Catherine Hawes says a teacher here at Kennebunk High School was placed on leave in mid-June after a complaint. The family of a 17-year-old student says he had sexual contact with his health teacher.
We take staff and student safety very seriously, and these are difficult situations for everybody involved.
A protection from abuse order filed by the victim's mother details a sexual relationship between the boy and his teacher. The document says the boy revealed what was going on after he was hospitalized for a suspected suicide attempt. It also says the boy said he loved his teacher and that sexual contact happened numerous times at school, in her house, and in her car.
We've always followed all of the legally required background checks, fingerprinting, and so forth through the Department of Ed. So we've done all the right things to this point, and now we are in the process of investigating.
Hawes says the school district is working with Kennebunk Police, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Maine Department of Education to discover what happened.
We will continue our investigation and continue to work collaboratively with other agencies and try to get to the bottom of this.
The teacher has not yet been criminally charged. Hawes says she will not return to school until the investigation is complete.
All right, a lawyer representing the teacher sent out a statement saying in part that the teacher strenuously denies the allegations contained in the civil complaint filed in Biddeford District Court. She agreed to the no contact order requested by the mother of the former student simply because she has no reason to have contact with that student. I would caution against considering as factual any allegation made in the complaint. The complaint was filed in a civil court by a third party with no direct knowledge of the veracity of the allegations.
This holiday weekend is starting to look a little more rainy, so our opinion of Keith is going down as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it doesn't start in a great place anyway. So what's up,
well,
Casey?
hold on.
Come on.
Let's back this up for a second.
What?
Did I say the weekend was going to be nice before? I don't like your attitude.
Oh,
all right.
sorry.
I will be wrong on my own.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the world of Jess, Keith.
I know, tough crowd. Anywho, here comes some rain. It is raining right now across southern Maine, particularly. Here's that warm front, really solid batch of rain that's going to lift through the state tonight. You can see it's kind of shifted to the north here of Portland, to the north of Falmouth as well. And this will continue to fill in, though, over southern Maine, so it's expected to be showery at best through the rest of tonight as that warm front tries to lift northward. A couple of showers and thunderstorms way to the north of that. Greenville getting in on it, north of Bangor as well, into Millinocket. So everyone's seeing at least a chance of some rain tonight. And temperatures have been suppressed really all day into the mid and at best upper 60s because of the clouds and the showers, which continue through the night. Tomorrow's an interesting day because we see a shower in the morning, but I think the middle part of the day is actually pretty decent with some peaks at least of sunshine and temperatures getting into the mid 70s. That touches off though some thunderstorms late in the day. Here we are at 8 o'clock. You can see a couple of complexes rumbling through. And then Saturday, the humidity comes up in a big way. It'll be a humid weekend. It'll be a weekend that features a decent chance of showers and thunderstorms. There is some really good news though, guys. It still looks great from basically Monday through next Thursday, which turns out a lot of people have that time off. Should be good.
Not us, though.
Yeah, I'm not. All right, so we've been talking a lot on now about the looming government shutdown, and it has launched kind of a different conversation about just how much say voters actually have.
That's right. You, our viewers, are saying things like Governor LePage won't do what the people voted for, and let the people we elected in Augusta do their work, or just have citizens initiatives and fire everyone in Augusta. Well, those are some opinions we've heard.
So News Center Zach Blanchard joins us now, and he's going to tackle this issue. Hey, Zach.
Haley and Jess. Now, if we rewind a bit, we'll remember there were 5 referendum questions on the ballot: marijuana legalization, taxes for education, gun control, and minimum wage, as well as ranked choice voting. Now, millions of dollars from special interest groups poured into the state for these initiatives, with ads running non-stop. But was it all worth it? Now, since then, a number of them have been drastically modified or could be completely thrown out. Now, background checks didn't pass at all. And while marijuana legalization did pass, regulations surrounding pot are still largely uncertain. And a 3% tax on household income over $200,000 is expected to be thrown out completely whenever a budget is finally settled. Minimum wage has changed drastically too, with the reinstatement of a tip credit, but is still up in the air. And finally, ranked choice voting, that many have claimed is unconstitutional, including the state Supreme Court, was last tabled, and its future does not appear to be too promising. Begging the question, does your voice matter? I set out to hear what some of you had to say.
It's probably irrelevant if they can just turn around and reverse what the voters voted in.
If you're not listening to what the people want, then you're just a dictator.
They should listen to what the people are wanting to do and not adjusting or adding or taking away things after it's already been voted on.
That the legislators kind of taking that out of the voters' hands kind of disappoints me as a citizen of the state of Maine.
Now, we should acknowledge that it is the role of legislators to determine the implementation of these laws, but with all of the uncertainty, we want to know what you think. Should legislators be able to make changes to or overturn referendum questions? Head on over to pulse.newscenter.com to weigh in here below. But come to find out, there is in fact a bill in Augusta that is aiming to make it harder to get citizen-led initiatives on the ballot. They plan to have a broader representation across congressional districts by requiring a percentage of voter signatures from each one. That bill passed the Senate, that bill passed the House and is now in the Senate. Lee and Jess.
All right, thank you so much, Zach. Still to come on now, Bill Green sat down with convicted killer Anthony Sanborn, who says he did not murder Jessica Briggs in 1989, and a judge is giving him another chance to prove his innocence.
Also ahead, the president's travel ban goes into effect today. How Maine families just might be affected by this order.
Tonight on 207, Reagan Carey has a lot of ties to Maine, and she's responsible for grooming the talent that will be on the U.S. Women's Olympic hockey team. We'll talk to her tonight. And what you can do to protect yourself from ticks on 207.
Back in 1989, Jessica Briggs was murdered on the Portland waterfront.
And police believed they'd captured her killer. Anthony Sanborn went to jail for 27 years, all the while maintaining he did not kill Jessica Briggs. 2 months ago, a key witness shockingly recanted her testimony, and Sanborn was released from prison, but he's far from a free man.
News Center's Bill Green sat down with Anthony Sanborn for an exclusive television interview. And Bill, how is this man sentenced and convicted for murder feeling now that he knows he at least has a shot of being set free and proven innocent?
Well, obviously his life has turned around 180 degrees from 2 months ago, and it's an interesting conversation with him tonight at 6 and 11 as he talks about going to jail, kind of losing hope, deciding to build his life in jail, becoming, he says, a model prisoner, and then things through the Innocence Project starting to happen on the outside that led to his release.
Now, speaking of his life, he went to jail at a very young age and
Yes, he did.
had a pretty hard life.
Indeed. He was a kid, he says he was not on the streets. He said that he could go home any night he wanted, but sometimes he chose to stay out all night at the age of 16. I think a bit different than most people. He also struck me as a young man who was doing things. He acknowledged that he did petty criminal things such as breaking into cars. And he didn't, to me, seem to understand the ramifications of what he was doing at the time. And then, of course, he became known to police. And he says it's because of that he was an expendable person. He was a throwaway is the term that he used. And they took advantage of him, and it was a win-win for prosecutors and police, who adamantly deny that that's what happened. This is not over that way either.
27 years in prison, but not all lost for him. He got married in prison.
An interesting thing, the witness, Hope Katie, testified that Anthony was on the dock that night with a woman named Michelle Lincoln. Michelle Lincoln is now his wife. In 2006, she said, because of her, she said she wasn't there either, so she knew the testimony was wrong. She wrote to Anthony to let him know about the Innocence Project. and through a series of letters, they had a through the mail romance, and they did end up getting married in 2012. Why don't we take a look at some of their comments about their marriage, which took place at the Maine State Correctional Facility.
My best friend Missy, her daughter Casey, and my son Jim. Tony and one of his friends from inside the prison was his best man. And they were really respectful, and it was, a lot of people have asked if we'll do it now that he's home, if we'll redo the whole thing, and I think that we were given one opportunity to do it. I don't think there's any reason to redo it. I think it was probably one of the best days of my life. I hope it was one of the best days of his still.
I always tell them when they ask, I haven't broken my vows, why would I?
Was that in the chapel there? Or?
It was not in the chapel, it was in the prison visit room.
In the prison visit
Yeah,
room?
so they do it kind of between visits.
So we will have much more about our conversation with Anthony Sanborn and Michelle coming up tonight at 6 and 11.
All right, Bill, we'll look for that. Thank you very much. Still to come on now.
One week I made $10 in tips, so that was pretty sweet. Madisons Cafe is a family-friendly environment, interacting with people.
Later on now, we'll take you to a very special cafe in South Berwick where the food is fantastic and the service is even better.
And Keith is keeping an eye on your holiday weekend. He'll be back with the full forecast. Imagine if you thought you would never see one of your family members again.
Yeah, that's a situation that thousands of people in Maine face today as the State Department released new restrictions on which immigrants will be allowed to enter the country based on President Trump's travel ban. Chris Costa joins us now, and Chris, this ban prevents visitors from 6 Muslim-majority countries from even coming into the United States.
Yeah, Lee and Jess, visa applicants from Iran, Sudan, Syria, Libya, Somalia, and Yemen must have a bona fide relationship with a person or entity in the United States. What does that mean? It means they must prove a relationship with a parent, spouse, child, adult son or daughter, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, or sibling already in the United States before they can enter the country. That leaves many people in Maine wondering if they will see some of their other family members ever again.
Inside this Muslim community center, it's time for prayer. People hoping that someday they will bring family from their home country to America. Abdiaziz Mohammed's grandmother is Somali, banned from the United States under the State Department's new restrictions.
I wish she was here, you know. Our family, some of them in home are sick, and they cannot come to see better care because of the visa restriction.
The last time I saw this was when I left Africa.
Reminders of home are all that refugees like Siad Ahmed can hold on to.
It's devastating for both new refugees who are trying to come over and those who are trying to join their families who cannot.
Maine Muslim Community Center Director Ahmed Abdi Rahman says some people petition for their entire families to come to America. Dreams that these new restrictions could erase.
Finally, they have been approved, then that whole thing will be canceled and started from scratch again, and families be divided.
And while President Trump's goal is to keep the country safe with these restrictions, some believe it will provide fuel for terrorists.
Hey, Muslims in the U.S. is not your, your friend. U.S. is your enemy because they are stopping your family from joining you.
Abdiaziz continues to pray until the Supreme Court makes its final ruling in October.
I tell her, that everything will be okay,
These restrictions are set to take effect at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Now, Chris, as you said in your story, the White House says this ban could protect people and save lives.
Yeah, this travel ban is not the only way that the president is trying to secure the country from foreign attacks. The Department of Homeland Security put into place more precautions at airports as well.
I am concerned that we are seeing renewed interest on the part of terrorist groups to go after the aviation sector, from bombing aircraft to attacking airports on the ground.
And those new security measures in airports include more thorough carry-on bag checks and more bomb-sniffing dogs that will be on patrol.
All right, Chris, thank you very much for that. This is awful. A YouTube stunt that just went horribly wrong.
Police say a mother accidentally shot and killed her boyfriend while they were trying to become internet famous. It happened in western Minnesota on Monday, but word about the incident is spreading across the country tonight. Mona Lisa Perez was charged with second-degree manslaughter.
Yeah, the 19-year-old Perez told police that her boyfriend, Pedro Ruiz, convinced her to film a video of her shooting a bullet into a book. Perez says Ruiz held the book up to his chest and she fired the gun from about a foot away, but the book did not stop the bullet. Police say Ruiz died from the gunshot wound to his chest. The whole incident was recorded. Perez told police that they had tested the stunt, but then when it came time to film, they used a different book. The couple had made prank videos in the past, and the family was obviously concerned about when they wanted to try this one.
He had told me about an idea, and I said, don't do it. Don't do it. Why are you going to use a gun? Why? Because we want more viewers. The fact that she's got to live with this for the rest of her life, that alone is a charge to me.
And the couple already has one child together. In a previous YouTube clip, Perez says that she is currently pregnant with the couple's second child. Just a horrible story all the way around.
Keith's here now with the weather, which we just talked about earlier. A little rain for the weekend, but holiday, there's some saving moments.
Yeah, the weekend doesn't strike me one way or another. I think there are going to be periods of time that it's okay, but I really like Monday, Tuesday the 4th, and the Wednesday after it. If you happen to get that.
I have that day off, so
the Wednesday?
The world revolves around me. So
it's all about you, Jess. I get it. I get it. No, it looks good going into that stretch. We have a warm front that's going to be with us for the next couple of days. This front will be the focus of the shower and thunderstorm activity not only tomorrow but into Saturday as well. So you can see how this thing's going to hang around. Right now it's a more stratiform rain across New Hampshire and lifting into southern Maine. So the rest of tonight looks definitely showery, if not downright rainy over the southern third of the state. To the north it's been a little bit more convective, more showers and thunderstorms that have kind of bubbled up and popped up. But you don't see as much coverage there, and it won't move in until later on tonight. So again, the warm front is really dictating our weather over the next few days. Tomorrow's not a bad day. We do see some showers in the morning, I think a break in the middle part of the day, and then some thunderstorms in the afternoon, all driven along that warm front again. And then we get really juicy on Saturday with the southwest flow. Dew points could be over 70. It'll be very humid. That'll touch off some thunderstorms on Saturday afternoon. Sunday starts with showers, but I think Sunday afternoon is good, and that's kind of when we start to turn the corner as we head into, well, the work week for some people, just the week for people who have it off. Showers continue through tonight. Again, notice showers in the morning tomorrow, but the middle part of the day relatively dry before more thunderstorms pop up behind that, come through Friday night in through Saturday. Saturday we see some peaks of sunshine. It's very humid. It's showery though, and the showers continue in through Sunday morning, but watch that clearing line by Sunday afternoon. I think we are in good shape after that. So that's the good news. Here are your precipitation rain chances over the next few days. They get drastically lower Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, perhaps returning to the forecast on Thursday, but a nice chunk there. And you can see by looking at the European model's rain over the next week or so that it's concentrating along that warm front, so a better chance here in the mountains and all the way into down East Maine, lesser rain over southern and mid-coastal Maine. So here's how we're looking. Again, the weekend doesn't strike me as terrible, doesn't strike me as great. We will see a mountain shower or down east shower on Monday morning, but the vast majority of that day is dry. Tuesday, the 4th itself looks dry straight through, and then looking good on Wednesday as well. So no firework concerns on Tuesday night, and then some showers back into the forecast on Thursday. So again, that's kind of the story for your coastal forecast. The only difference here is that there's probably less of a chance of a shower on Monday. Guys, one thing I do not see at all in this 7-day forecast is any big heat. It'll get humid over the weekend, but nothing 90 plus, at least in the next 7.
All right, we will certainly take that. Thank you very much, sir. All right, our state is famous for having amazing restaurants with amazing food choices, but there's a little cafe in South Berwick that just might lead the way when it comes to enthusiastic staff.
That's right. The workers at Madisons Cafe literally could not be happier to be there.
I greet people. I also waitress bus tables.
The door to Madisons Cafe opened in early April, but this isn't your ordinary place to get a bite. In fact, that's what makes it so special. Nicole McComb wanted her daughter Maddie, who was developmentally delayed, to have a place to work when she gets out of high school. So she and her business partner opened up the cafe and decided to hire primarily people that have developmental and intellectual disabilities.
I have people that come in here in tears, thanking me for doing this, because the unemployment rate for kids and young adults with these disabilities is like 80%. People just won't hire people that have disabilities. People will hire them to bag groceries or stuff like that, but not in an environment where they're all included.
I work at the counter, and I also help bus tables and stuff.
Work Opportunities Unlimited helps train the staff for what's needed, and then the rest is up to them.
We really try to make it a good place for the customers, but also for everyone who works here. We're just kind of like a little family. We make sure we're all doing good and help each other out when things get crazy busy.
Once word about Madisons Cafe started to spread, there has been a steady stream of people looking to work there. And so far, space has been found for all.
You just can't turn somebody away that, that wants to work and that has, some sort of disability, because usually they're actually the best workers. They come to work, they're always happy, they always have a smile on their face, and they do a great job.
I'm excited about it because it's my first job ever being able to work with money, and I like working with money.
Speaking of money, all of the workers obviously get paid, but the reward for being hired at Madison's goes far past financial gain.
I'm 52 years old, and I put out tons of applications, and no one would even give me an interview. And then I came in here, and Nicole hired me. I filled out so many applications, it was unreal. And I couldn't find a job. No one wanted me.
Feel really important at the end of the day, which that's what we all really want. The greatest thing about Madison's logo is that heart, because it says volumes. When you come here, you're going to get a ton of heart.
So I work behind the counters, and I like to do the register. I like to be working behind the cashier and doing debit card.
Since every person we spoke with gushed over what it was like to work at Madison's, we obviously had to hear from Maddie herself. Do you like coming to this place, though?
Yes.
Do your friends come here?
Yeah.
Do they like it?
Yes.
So everybody likes it?
Yes.
But if you have to come to work, you don't like it. So Maddie was very clear. She likes to come and eat, but she doesn't want to have to do any work. And her mom's like, your name is on the building. You're going to have to do something. And she's like, I'm just going to eat. So,
that's fine. That would be my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agreed with her on that one, too.
We'll be right back with Brain Drops.
Asking for the viewers to send in some ideas for brain drops, and we have another one.
We're getting a lot of them. All right, Marlene asks, can lightning go through a window and strike you? The short answer, yes, it's possible. What's not possible is for it to go through the window and not break the window on the way there. So there's a couple of reports that I saw erroneously on the interwebs that someone gets struck, but the window is intact. That's impossible, because think about the amount of energy and heat that comes with the lightning strike. So it hits the glass, it breaks it. It's possible to get hit. It is highly unlikely, though, because you are not a good target for it. It would more likely hit your roof first. The reason they tell you to stay away from windows during thunderstorms really is debris. Straight line winds that knock down trees, limbs. That's why you don't want to be near the window. It's possible, but highly unlikely.
All right, asked and answered. Thank you very much, sir. Send Keith all your brain drop questions. News Center at 5:30 starts right now.